So what is up people, welcome to the new video of the series Docker for Developers, and in this video we are gonna talk about how you can run your commands inside a container. Suppose you have a Ubuntu container and you want to run some your interactive commands inside that container shell. So how you can go to the shell inside a container and how you can run real-time commands inside that container. So now let's see how you can run your commands directly inside a Docker container, how you can connect to your Docker container that is running already. So as we know already that you can run a container using Docker run command. So let's try to run a container. First let's see which image we have on our local machine. So we have Ubuntu image already. So let's run the container from a Ubuntu image. So we know that using Docker run we can run a container. So if you do Docker ps, so there is no container because that container ran but that is exited because we did not specify any special action that need to be done using that container, right? So if we want to interact with this container by running it, so we can just specify a flag here. So this is IT flag. This basically means we want to run our container in an interactive mode. And now after this flag we need to specify our image name, like which image we want to run as a container. And after the image name we need to add like which kind of shell we want to open in this container. So I am saying bin bash. I want to open bash shell inside Docker container, this Ubuntu container. So now we are inside a container. So it is a brand new Ubuntu container. It is just like a virtual machine. If you create a virtual machine of Ubuntu, this is a brand new container Ubuntu. We are not on our local machine. This is a container, right? So here you can run your commands whatever you like in that Ubuntu container. If you want to exit from this container, you can run exit command, right? Now we see how you can run your container in background, and after running that how you can attach to that container, or how you can work with that container, or you can open a shell in a running container, right? So let's pull a nginx image. We can directly also run docker run command, so it will automatically pull the image, but we are running this docker pull command. So now we have our two images here. One is nginx and one is Ubuntu. So now run our nginx server container, docker run -d, and let's publish it, and we will publish it on port 3001, and we are gonna map it to container port 80 because nginx always listen on the port 80, right? And now we need to specify the image name, that is nginx. So it has created a container, right? So if you now do docker ps, so you can see this container is running and it has a container id here. It is given a automatically assigned name, but we have not given any name to it, right? So now if you want to attach to this container, you can do docker attach nginx. Sorry, you need to specify your container name or container id here. So I am pasting this container id. So now we are attached to our container, but what this attach command do, it only connect us to the standard input, standard output and standard error to that container, like that container is already running. So this will show us the only logs of that container, right? So now let's quit it. But if you want to do some changes inside that container, how you can do that? You just need to run docker exec command. We need docker exec. It means we want to interact with the container. So docker exec only means that we want to interact with a running container. So we can use docker exec command. And now we have to specify our container id. So our container id is this one, and let's paste it here, and let's do sh. So it is saying this container is not running. I think it is stopped when we ran this command docker attach, and I pressed Ctrl C here. So let's run it again. So now if we running it, let's give it a name also. Let's say my container. Okay, now it is running, and now let's exec into this container. Let's say my container and do sh. It means shell. So we are inside the shell, right? So now we can interact with this nginx container, right? So we already know that this container is running on this 3001 port. So if you now go to this container port, so you can see like there should be something like welcome to nginx or something. So this will show you this message if you go to 3001 port on your machine. So it will show us like welcome to nginx, and this is all the things, right? So now let's change something here. We need to go inside. We are inside a nginx container already. Now let's go inside /user/share/nginx, and if you ls here, we can see a folder that is html, and if you ls here, you can see a index.html file. Let's open this index.html file. It is saying it does not have Vim editor. Let's update this container because this is a brand new container, and now we can install Vim here. So now let's edit this index.html file, right? So this is the file that is showing on that 3001 port, right? If you do some changes inside this, let's say hello, this message is from a Docker container. Right, we have changed this file. So now if you go to that same port again and you refresh, then you can see that message, hello, this message is from a Docker container. So because we done some changes inside that nginx container, because we are inside that container. So if you want to do some changes, or you want to go inside that container, or you want to go inside a running container, so you can do docker exec. And if you want to see a standard output and input of the running container, so you can do docker attach. So in the next part we will see the basic difference between docker attach and docker exec. So now let's see the basic difference between docker attach and docker exec. So as it is saying, docker attach will take you to existing process, but exec will start a new process. So we already know that with exec we can run a new shell inside a container, but docker attach will take you to only the existing process that is running like a standard input and standard output. As it is saying, docker exec creates a new process in the containers environment, while docker attach just connect the standard input output of the main process inside the container to corresponding standard input error, output error, or current terminal, right? So it will show us like what is happening inside that container. Docker attach will only show us that, but docker exec creates any process for us. So docker exec is especially for running new things in a already started containers. Like if you are running only like a container, but you want to change something in that container, you don't want to stop that container and you want to change something inside that container, so you can do docker exec directly, right? So that is all the difference between docker attach and docker exec. So if you like this video, please hit the like button and do subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.